My name is Bob. Thanks for tuning in to Paranormal Puffs and Murderous Whatever It Is Stuff.
Mixology stuff.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We are back with another wonderful week of the internet's only dark comedy, true crime podcast show that we created because there was nothing else like it on the entire internet. I was sitting alone one night in my bed watching true crime, watching a little comedy, and I said, why the fuck don't they just do these together? You know, and then bam, I thought of this show. What a fucking great idea. And you guys are a part of it. So we originally started this show so you could have something to drink or smoke some weed to or beat your girlfriend to. Whatever. Don't do that. Whatever it is. But we don't do that anymore. We're strictly sober.
No, we're not.
Oh, you're drinking?
I mean, not right now. I'm too broke to afford any type of alcohol.
Yeah, so if you guys want, send us money so Marissa can drink. You know, normally she just stands out in front of the gas station and just asks people for like a buck or two. And then eventually she has $10. She shows them like a small nipple. Maybe she can get a $5 real quick. You know, we've had that happen. So that's cool. If you guys want to see a nipple and send us a $5, we'll just give you the same deal.
Oh my God.
But anyway, this is the internet's only true crime dark comedy podcast. Wow, what a combination. If you're wondering what that looks like and what high-class, intense banter sounds like from a couple that just throws it back at each other all day long, tune in. You're in for a real fucking treat. Cue the music.
And murderous mixology stuff.
Forewarning before you guys start this episode, viewers' discretion is advised. We do talk about sexual assault of women and children in this episode.
Now that we're back, guys, from the break, no, I'll take this whole episode. I'll take this shit. Now, I don't know. We got a real doozy prepared for you. If you want to write us in, you guys need to start writing us in. You know, otherwise, you know. It's just we're going to have to make up shit, you know, and I'm going to make up letters from people that don't exist because someone did write us in recently, and what they want to know.
No, I'm not doing this.
No, I want to. What they want to know.
I'm not doing this.
What they want to know.
Because baby,
this is another one. You're another one that's writing us in. It's like, you got problems.
No,
if you're writing us, asking us
out.
how many... No, you're not going to cut this out.
Baby, it's rude.
No. Let me... No, please, I hope you do listen. I'm trying to do you a favor out there. Please continue listening. If you don't, you don't, okay?
I know, but it's just rude. That's maybe why we can't develop any fans.
I don't want a fan.
Because the minute that we get a fan, you shit talk them and then they leave. Like Shadow Stalker.
No, Shadow Stalker... Whatever. I mean, that's his name, Shadow Stalker. Okay? Yeah, so far our OnlyFans have been 2 serial killers. That guy, he obviously killed his girlfriend. Okay? Yeah, this is not like I guess our OnlyFans are on death row right now. So if you're on death row at San Quentin listening to this on one of those little portable radios they give you, and you just hear like the guard come down the hallway, just clank, clank, clank with his little billy club on the little bars. If that's our show, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we might as well make fun.
Oh, my God.
You know, let's just make fun. So this guy wrote in and he said, how do you guys have all these subscribers?
Babe, you're such a fucking dick.
And to that I ask you, you mean our 19 subscribers on YouTube? How do we have all those subscribers?
He didn't want to know that. He wanted to know because
I'm not connected to our Instagram, by the way. We have 2,000 downloads. That's amazing.
We have 2,000 downloads for our podcast, and I believe this is number 17 on our episode. So that's a pretty fucking big milestone, Bob. You want to be all
I've never heard of Podcast Republic. I think it's awesome, but I've never heard of it.
2,000 downloads total all across the apps.
Podcast
everything.
Republic. So you gotta let me get this straight. You gotta be out there in internet land and go to a website called Podcast Republic and then find us.
The person who wrote us in originally, she's from Podcast Republic and she loves us.
Listen.
She asked us how we were doing on our break and everything. She was like, when are you guys coming back? By the way, shout out to you.
She doesn't listen anymore. She's writing up some other... Like, this is what people do.
Baby, no.
It's like those guys on Facebook. They just, like, write to women, like, hey, let me see your snatch, until they finally get someone dumb enough to be like, okay.
You're so dumb, babe.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
So anyway, let's kick this episode off. I'm sure we have something real interesting to talk about today since you came up with it.
Yes, I did. Okay, so you know how last week I gave you the option, are we doing campfire stories or are we doing like relationship issues?
And I said, let's just put us out of our misery.
Yeah, and just do the bad relationships. So when I was searching for the creepy campfire stories, I came across creepy urban legends, right? And that was going to be last week's episode, but you chose something else. So with that, today is going to be about an urban legend that actually turned out to be real. And I don't know if you guys ever heard about this one, but this was the Beast of Jersey. And I found this on Reddit. This is how I found it. It was by someone named Fletchin Dubai. So it said, on the little island I grew up on, there was a story of the beast that would come into your house at night and fiddle with your kids. And it turned out to be true. So I'm not going to read the rest of that because I'm going to go ahead and tell a story. But yes, there was this urban legend about this guy. He would have this melted off face mask that was utterly freaking creepy. Or I don't know, utterly creepy. Where did I come up with that? So
ChatGPT came up with that shit.
I'm not even going off a script right now, you fucking
that's
asshole.
our problem.
Yeah. So So he would wear this creepy face mask that looked like his face was melting off. He would have nails on the cuffs of his sleeves of his long coat, and he would have the nails on his shoulders as well, just in case his victims tried to escape. They couldn't fight back because they would just be stabbed with the nails. So it turned out that this was an urban legend, but it wasn't an urban legend because it was actually true. So today we're going to be talking about that. Are you ready, Bob? Are you excited? Does that sound like something good? So it's actually a true crime.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it started off as I guess, an urban legend.
Okay.
So I thought this,
Candyman, right? We're talking Candyman?
we're talking about the Beast of Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard of this one before?
Yeah, of course. The Beast from the Midwest.
Nope.
No, the Beast from New Brunswick.
No.
That's in New Jersey. I had a roommate.
No, not in New Jersey. The Beast of Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey. Jersey. What do you think Jersey is? New Jersey.
It's actually located between the United Kingdom and France on an island.
It's East Jersey. I had a roommate from Jersey. I think I would know. Shout out to Bobby, dude. That guy.
Bobby.
Yeah, he's a winner for sure. Yeah, hope you made it, Bobby, as a PE teacher, man. That was a good idea. All right, go on. Whatever, yeah. So it's about some Jersey shit?
Okay.
I bet it stinks out there, right?
No, I think it's actually kind of really nice.
There's some really great Jersey jokes, like, kiss her where it stinks.
Ew.
Take her to New Jersey.
Oh.
You know? Or Jersey girls aren't trash.
Baby.
Trash gets thrown out.
I heard like a lot of people talk shit about Jersey, but I was watching MasterChef and he was like, everyone wants to talk shit, but we actually are called the Garden State. So we actually have like a lot of nice stuff, like fresh fruit.
Yeah,
vegetables,
I think so. I think that's true.
Gardens.
And I also think the food out there is like fantastic. I know that to be true.
Yeah. I would.
Okay, yeah, I'm just talking shit, obviously. Bobby's, you're the man, bro. No, that guy was king at dodgeball and shit like that. He really was. Go on.
All right, so today we're talking about the Beast of Jersey, the real-life boogeyman that would haunt a small 9-mile by 5-mile island, and it was called Jersey. And this guy was around during the 1950s. This is when all of these attacks kind of took place.
Nice.
So the population was really small. Like I said, the island's only 9 miles by 5 miles, which is so freaking small. I know, right?
So small.
Isn't that really small? And so the population was only 30,000 at that time. Isn't that insane? So in this island, you have one lunatic that's on the loose, and he's just raising havoc through the whole entire island. It's like, you know that you only have 30,000 people, and one person is causing these issues. So just from that start, it's already really fucking scary.
So what you're trying to sell to me that there are 30,000 people on an island.
Yes.
And one lunatic.
Yes.
And that's a big deal.
You don't think that's scary? Versus like in the United States, we have 50 states. Yeah. We have
But do you think
a huge population in each city?
Not really. There's a lot of small towns with less than 30,000 people with more. Like, there's small towns out there with, like, let's say 1,000 people.
Yeah.
With, let's say, like, have you ever been to West Virginia?
No.
Me
either.
Have you? On TV, I've been. And so, like, they have small towns in certain places. Okay, let's say 1,000 people.
Yeah.
With, like, 50 crazy people. Wouldn't that be that'd be way scarier.
No, because you always see those on Dateline. They're like, oh, we had a population of this, and we never expected this to happen in our...
There's a lot of small towns. No, it's my turn. Fuck you. No, there's a lot of small towns out there with like a ton of mysteries that have never been solved.
Oh, I think you were telling me about that.
There's
Small
a
Town
ton of them.
Mysteries.
There's a ton
But
of
no,
them.
what I'm saying is, don't you ever watch TV and they were like, we never expected anything like this to happen in our town. We are the type of town that keeps our doors unlocked at night and our windows open.
Yeah,
You've never heard that
before?
before?
That's a cliche, sure.
I hear that all the time on Dateline. They're like, "Well, never
It's a
happened."
cliche.
But I just thought those. Okay, well, is it not creepy that this is happening on an island and everyone's locked in on the island?
I'm not really creeped out by it.
That you have one lunatic on an island that's causing havoc through the whole
like I said,
entire-
it could be way worse in a small town.
Oh my god, babe. Okay.
I mean, the population could be less. It could be more maniacs. 1 in 30,000. I'm not so sold on
really?
that.
I don't know. That just seems really insane to me.
Not to me.
Okay, so moving on.
No, moving on. What do you mean?
Well-
so just start. Let's do a new story.
Wait, no.
New story.
Did you have anything that you wanted to say about that?
I already did. I said it.
Yeah, I know.
I veto it.
Wait, so you don't want to hear about this story?
No.
Oh my God. Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. So it started in 1957. His first victim was actually a nurse who just got off working a 12-hour shift. She was walking and she ended up at the bus stop, and that's where he came up behind her, put a rope around her neck, dragged her to a nearby field, and assaulted her.
Yeah, but
he
back
beat
then,
her so badly.
before you say it, like back then, that's kind of how you chose your wife. You know what I mean?
Like
That's a long time
like
ago.
caveman status, like
yeah.
hit him with the club
No, you
upside
just
the head.
Yeah, you
It's
didn't
like,
really
you're
hit
mine
on
now.
women in traditional ways.
Baby, this is
So,
1957.
That's what I'm saying.
Your mom was probably around during this time.
Yeah.
That's
And how do you
no,
think
pretty
she
recent.
got her first boyfriend?
Oh my God, babe, you're so dumb. So
All right.
he beat her so...
No, I'm all for women's rights. You know,
Oh
what
my
I'm just
God.
saying in the past, that's same thing. Like they used to. Have you ever heard of segregation and stuff?
Yes, baby.
Yeah, same thing. It fucked up, but that's what happened.
You are
They just
so
used to take
dumb.
women and drag them into fields and be like, "Now you're my wife."
You're my wife.
Yeah, and they still do that in places like India. Okay.
Oh my
no,
God, babe.
it's a fact.
Oh my God, you're so dumb, literally. So he ended up beating her so badly that when he was done with her, she ended up going right back to the hospital that she just got off at to get care. She ended up having some stitches, but she was able to heal from her physical wounds. So that was his first attack. Baby, can you get off your phone? I'm not even reading off a script. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Give me your undivided attention.
No, please. Anything but that.
Okay, so in his earlier days, it started with the first attack that I just told you, and then this was kind of his go-to. He would just kind of find women waiting at the bus stop, getting off the bus, or getting on the bus before so, and he would attack them. He
Oh,
would do
see,
the
that's
same-
fucked up.
He would do the same
No,
thing.
that's fucked up because he already had a wife
Oh
from the
my
first girl
God.
that he chose. So how's he going to cheat on her and do that again and again unless he divorced her?
No, babe.
Back then, you can't really get divorced, so this is already bad. This guy is crazy. Go on.
This guy is fucking
That's
crazy.
fucked.
So he would
I
do
thought it was
this-
just the one.
No, babe. So he would do it with
no.
all of them. He would put
Yeah.
the rope around their neck, drag them to a nearby field, sexually assault them,
That's
and just like let them go. Right? And he would always do this with his face covered. This was before he was deemed the beast. And he would do this with a scarf covering his face. He would have a long coat on and he would have gloves on. And so through the descriptions of his young victims that he attacked, they were able to kind of get an idea of what he looked like.
Which were what?
Well, I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
So they said that he was about 5'6" tall. He was middle-aged, and he had a fake-sounding Irish accent. They also said that he had a very pungent, musty odor that came from him. And
So he was Indian.
baby,
What?
that's racist.
I'm sorry. I know because no. Here's what I was thinking because you said pungent musty odor and then you also said rapist.
Baby, what the fuck?
No.
Are you saying Indians are rapists?
Have you seen some of the stuff that comes out of India lately? Obviously,
No.
you haven't.
What? Baby, you can't say that.
No. If you're a Western woman and you go to India,
Yeah.
good luck on that.
What?
No, seriously, good luck.
Oh, my God.
No, good luck.
Okay, well, that's not all Indian people. Duh.
Obviously.
Okay.
I'm talking about if you go to India. I'm not talking about the feather.
Oh, baby,
Wow,
stop being so
Jesus.
fucking racist.
Is that racist?
Yes.
Okay. Nah, sorry, Indians.
Baby. Okay, moving on.
No, but you
from
guys
my
know
racist
I'm actually
partner.
I'm
I
not being
apologize.
racist. No, I'm.
I apologize for
it's
your
generally
behavior.
no. You're just not. You're not in the know that it generally is very true that Indian men. In the country of India are very rapey, and there's a lot of crazy.
very rapey.
There's a lot of crazy gang rapes that occur. Like recently, a doctor was just gang raped walking home. Like it's very common. If
Oh
you
my
Google
God.
gang rapes in India and
It
just
just
rape
happens? That's
rape in
insane.
India, so crazy high that it's like you're not even supposed to travel there if you're a woman. It's just that it's not.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I honestly did not
Obviously,
know
you
that.
didn't know that, and that's why you're like one of those
What about
people that
Jenny
are just not that.
from 90 Day Fiance?
I don't know who that is.
The old lady, the old bitch.
Yeah, no one's gonna rape her. I'm saying if you're a younger, pretty woman and you go to India and you just like, oh, this seems nice. Let me go this way and take some photos. Like,
No.
why are all these guys following me?
Yeah.
Oh no, hey, dead and raped.
Oh my God, that's insane. Well, I will just tell you guys, this guy was not
In fact, hold on.
Indian. He was
Let
actually
me see
a
if
white
I can
male.
find this Reddit post that I just read today. Okay, let me read this. This is off of. Sorry to interrupt you,
No, you're
but I
fine.
just want to let you know I'm not racist. This is from 5 hours ago on Reddit. It's this girl is posting. She posts a video of herself. She's from Turkey and she's walking around India and she's like, all these guys are following me. It's crazy. Okay,
What?
and
That's
she's like, what the fuck?
crazy.
One of the most upvoted comments is, I live in India and I'm Indian. And the one thing I can say is that this country is not safe for women. Yes,
Wow.
India has beautiful culture and diversity, but some things are just meant to be seen from afar. Around a few months ago, a biking couple had come to India and took camp. And sadly, she suffered a tragic fate of being gang raped. No woman should
Damn.
ever have to face this trauma, blah, 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 blah. Right now, there are massive protests in various parts of India regarding the rape and murder of a doctor in Calcutta. Our very own doctors themselves are not safe from some of the disgusting men present here. So a foreign woman would only be eye candy for these men. A lot of the general population is still uneducated and backward thinking in a lot of the major cities. Some don't fear the law. And it goes back to exactly what I'm saying about how like 70 years ago, that's kind of how you just... you chose a wife, is you just drag her into the fields and you be like, oh, this is my wife. This is how you show affection, basically. And that's the same thing they're doing. They're just kind of showing affection. They're a little backward there. I'm not judging. You're the one who's basically judging me for telling you how it is.
I didn't know.
There's
ignorant.
a lot you don't know.
I was
There's
ignorant.
a
I
lot you
didn't
don't know
know
that I'm very privy to. And it's just, so when I tell you things, you look at me like, oh, wow, you're so crazy. That's crazy. That would never happen. And you're racist.
I didn't know, baby. I
Yeah.
didn't know.
And that's what happens these days when you ever even bring up anything about race. Like, oh,
What, baby?
like for example, like Canadian people, they're not very good tippers. British people have bad teeth.
Baby,
whatever it is.
Oh my God.
Whatever your
Americans are fat.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. These
Say
are
something about black people, babe. Go ahead. Say it. Say it.
they're not very good fathers. Okay. No,
So stupid.
just kidding. They're obviously very good dads if you look at the numbers. So go on.
Okay. So 3 years had passed since his original attack. And it was during this time that his arrogance, if you will, or confidence, I don't know how you want to say it, started to grow. And so he started to perfect his crime of sexual assault. And instead of doing it
What a real asshole, by the way. I thought he was just kind of like being like sweet and like,
You fucking dick. No, obviously not. I told you this is a true crime episode. Okay. So
I was listening to that part.
And so he stopped.
How do you even choose these crimes? Like, this guy has the shortest Wikipedia I've ever seen. Where
I know.
do you get this from?
So it fucking takes me a lot.
No, I'm saying, but where do you get? How do you just say to yourself, like, this is the guy I want to focus on this
I
week? How does your
literally-
little mind work that way?
Okay, so
I
do you guys,
literally, what do you literally do? I
So
need
you
to
wanna
know.
know?
Kinda.
Okay, so
You
as
talk to ChatGPT, right?
Oh, you are such a fucking dickhead. Didn't I spend like 3 minutes in the beginning telling you how I found this story? Last week, we were going to do campfire stories or fucked up relationships. And when I was looking for Reddit reads, campfire stories, I was looking at the folklore urban legends, and someone said this was an urban legend, but it happened to be true. He grew up in this island with it, saying that this
Have you
guy
talked
would...
about his mask?
Yes! I said he had a mask that looked like it was melted off of his fucking face. By the way, you guys should go to our Instagram. I'm going to post pictures of what this guy's outfit looked like and what you would see if you were a child or a young woman
Here,
in
let's
your
skip
house
to the
in
end.
the
You
middle
know
of
he
the
only
night.
got 30 years?
Baby, you're such a fucking dick. Come on. Yes, I know that. And guess what? He actually had 20 years because he got out for being a role model prisoner.
Nice.
Can I tell my story now, baby?
Yeah. Did you read the book? I'm reading the book
No,
right now.
you know the wife wrote the book? His wife wrote a book about
I just
him.
read it. Of course I know that.
Yeah. So are you ready to listen? Can I get back into my story, please?
Sure.
Okay. So he decided to perfect his crime. And this was done by, instead of doing it in the open field mostly, he would now go into your home. And he would do this by slipping into an open window in the middle of the night. And there you would be on Valentine's Day in the middle of your room while you're sleeping, you would be a 12-year-old boy who would be awoken to a torch being shoved in his face. So like the bright light from the torch would wake him up, and there you would have it. It would be a masked man standing at the foot of your bed. What would you do? You'd probably be fucking, I don't know, so shocked you couldn't move, or so scared that you couldn't move, couldn't scream, paralyzed with fear, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is the stuff that nightmares are made of.
Where's the comedy there?
Yeah,
Here's my impression of what you just did, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then he sneaks into your room and he has a fucking gun to your head. And he looks in your eyes and says, I just killed your whole family, you fuck. Get ready to suck on my big cock. And what do you do then? You suck that big cock because you have no choice.
And that's where the comedy comes from.
No, you see what I'm saying, though? It's just like, Jesus, dude. Like, let me just drop everything I'm doing.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. This is a pretty fucking crazy episode. So can you get off of your fucking phone, get off of Wikipedia? I'm going to tell you the full story. Just listen.
Dude, I am.
And you like true fucking crime. So that's one thing you missed in the beginning. Bob is the true crime lover. I'm the paranormal lover. So today it was for you, Bob. This was an interesting story that I know your ass has never heard of. So just listen. It's a treat for you, baby. I fucking love you. So listen.
Here, okay? I'm going to put on these earmuffs. Are these for me?
No, baby.
My doctor said I can wear my earmuffs whenever I get too agitated. No, so I'd prefer to. And, you're always talking.
Okay, so let me talk.
I will, and then I'll put them on?
Sure, babe. Whatever.
Okay. Thank you. Go on.
So after he woke up, and I'm assuming the boy was paralyzed with fear, so he couldn't move and he couldn't scream.
There he was.
A rope
paralyzed with fear.
Baby, he was.
The scene is set.
Imagine that you're a 12-year-old boy.
The beast walks in with the mask.
Yes.
And he's got a blowtorch right in your face, ready to fuck your ass. There you are. Baby. You're frozen. You can't even move. Fight, flight,
or freeze. And he probably
You chose
froze.
freeze.
Yes.
There, he bent you over.
Baby.
Fuck that ass.
Baby. Okay. So anyways, back to my story. He did his usual thing with the rope around his neck, and he dragged him to a nearby field.
So he likes boys too?
Anything. Well, children and young women. So I guess he doesn't have I guess just not men. I guess that's his only, nickname. He put a rope around his neck and drug him to a nearby field, and he was obviously sexually assaulted.
This guy was like the boogeyman.
Yes. Did you not hear me in the beginning when I said this guy was the real life boogeyman? You don't listen to anything I say. I literally said that.
It's just you don't say it so I could listen. It's just how you say things, it doesn't connect to my brain.
Oh my God, you're so dumb. Okay. So getting back into the story, there was a woman that was approached by a car and asked if she wanted to have a ride. He said that he was a doctor and that he was on his way to pick up his wife. No big deal. Do you want to ride or not? She was like, yeah, sure. I'll take a ride from you. So when she got in the car, she knew that something wasn't right based on how he was dressed. She couldn't see his face. He was wearing gloves. He was wearing a coat. And she knew then that she made a bad decision. But it was already too late. Of course, he drove her to a nearby field and did what he did with all of his victims.
Well, I mean, if you're obviously leaving out some details.
I am leaving out some details.
Where did he finish? You know what I mean?
Baby!
And then he finished...
Baby!
all over her stomach.
No.
How despicable. It was awful.
No. Okay, so after he was done assaulting her, he got her back in the car, and she thought she was going to die. So what did she do? She jumped out of a moving vehicle, and she started to scream. This brought too much attention, so he ended up just speeding off and letting her be. So in that same month, there was a 43-year-old lady and her 14-year-old daughter, and they were asleep in the house. All of a sudden, it was a little bit past midnight, and they heard a phone ring. The mom jumped out of bed to answer the phone. Who could be calling past midnight? When she answered the phone, it was silence. She thought it was a little weird, and then all of a sudden, she heard a click. The phone hung up on her. She was like, oh, must be the wrong number. So she jumped back in bed, and after falling shortly back asleep. So she jumped back in bed, and after falling asleep, she started to hear something downstairs. She got out of her bed, walked down the stairs, and as she was making her way to her last stair, the lights shut off. At this point, she knew something wasn't right and that someone was probably in the house. She grabbed the phone and quickly dialed 911, but there was a problem. Do you want to know what that problem was, Bob?
Yeah.
The problem was...
no, I know what it is.
What?
The line was dead.
Yep.
The phone line had been cut.
So that's exactly what happened. So he then ran at her, attacked her, and tied her up. It was at this point that he started to gag her, but before she could be completely smothered, she screamed at her daughter to lock herself in the room and not to come downstairs. Her daughter, the 14-year-old at the time, what did she do? She did the complete opposite. She knew something wasn't right, so she ran down to see what was happening to her mom. As soon as he saw this young girl, he forgot about the mom and went right after for the 14-year-old girl. And the mom decided to go get free and run to get help. So she ran to her neighbor's house and returned with the neighbor to get rid of the assailant. When she returned, it was too late, though. The daughter had been sexually assaulted and she was tied up. Over the next few months, the Beast of Jersey would continue his home invasions and assaults, including a 14-year-old girl who woke up in the middle of the night while the Beast was watching her sleep. And his youngest victim was actually an 8-year-old boy. Something really interesting that happened with the 8-year-old boy is after he dragged him to the nearby field, he walked the boy home and delivered him on his parents' doorstep. And people speculated that this was his ounce that he had of humanity. I guess he didn't want the 8-year-old boy being alone in the field in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. So he returned him back to his parents' house, which I thought was really interesting. Another thing is when he was doing all of this, taking the kids away or taking the females away from their homes, he would tell them stuff as he was walking them to the field. He would tell them stuff like, oh, I dropped my lighter, or, oh, I forgot my cigarettes at home. He would tell them that he's killed someone before, and he also mentioned that he was married. He would do this all in a fake Irish accent. The accent wasn't the only thing that he was faking, though. He also faked the fact that he smoked cigarettes and needed a lighter. He did this because he knew that his victims would be talking to the police after the assault, and he kind of wanted to throw the policeman off. And it worked a little bit. So after all of these attacks, the police department was like, you know what? We've had enough of this guy. We need to find him. There's only 30,000 people on this island. We're going to get fingerprints of every fucking person on this island that's a man, and we're going to do something about it. So only 13 men refused to have their fingerprints submitted. And guess what? The Beast was one of those 13 people. The police was getting desperate to find someone, and they ended up trying to pin this on one guy, but they didn't have enough evidence. Moving on, they still didn't have the Beast. A profile was built against the Beast, and it was a 40 to 45-year-old male that was mid-sized build, 5'6" tall, wore a terrifying plastic mask, a dark musty coat, gloves, and a hat, and always carried a lantern, and he would use the moonlight for additional light to sneak into the windows of his victims' homes. He would do this around 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. at night. In the next few years, the attacks would continue, but this time, he would only attack the young. So now he's switched from having just adult females and children, so now he's just only children. And it was in 1964 when the attacks stopped. Was the terror finally over? Unfortunately, it was not. Instead, the police received a letter from the Beast, and people were unsure if it was really the Beast or not, but later on, his wife actually confirmed that it was the Beast because she recognized his handwriting. And something was foreshadowed in the letter, which was 2 more people would be attacked, and 2 more people did get attacked. I'm just going to read the letter for you. It's really short. It says, "My dear sir, I think that it is just the time to tell you that you are just wasting your time, as every time I have done..." And then it says in parentheses, what sick. I don't know what that means. "I will always intended to do, and remember it will not stop at this, but I will be fair to you and give you a chance. I have never had much out of this life, but I intend to get everything I can now. I have always wanted to do the perfect crime. I have done this, but this time let the moon shine very bright in September, because in this time it must be perfect. Not 1, but 2. I'm not a maniac by a long shot, but I like to play with you people. You will hear from me before September, and I will give you all the clues, just to see if you can catch me. Yours very sincerely, Wait and See." And just like I said, 2 more attacks happened after that. But this time the attacks were a little bit different because the victims had scratches that were parallel and on their skin. So they were this is kind of interesting. Why are they equally spaced and evenly spaced out? It turns out, remember how I said he wore the the nails on his wristlets and he had the nails on his shoulders. Well, that was actually what was causing those his victims to be scratched up. In a twist of fate, Edward Paisnel, who was actually the Beast of Jersey, was finally caught. It was nearly 13 years after his first attack, but they finally did catch him, and they've caught him on July 10th, 1970. The police were merely responding to a routine traffic infraction when things took a turn for the best. There was a car in front of the cop car that ran a red light, and they went after him. They're like, oh, no big deal. And the car just didn't stop. It turned into a high-speed chase. This car was driving all crazy. It was driving on the wrong side of the road. It was driving up on the sidewalks, and finally it ended up crashing in a tomato field. From there, the person took off on foot, and the police quickly captured him. It must have been a surreal moment of realization for them. They had finally caught their man. He was wearing a long black coat with a musty smell, adorned with nails on the collars and shoulders, clearly designed to prevent his victims from getting away if they fought back. These were the same nails and scratches on his previous victims, like I just stated. They also found a black torch with most of it covered up, just leaving a small amount of light to shine through. Alongside this, there was a cord for binding his victims, a wool cap, and duct tape. During questioning, he claimed he was on his way to a sex party. That's why the car was stolen. That's why he tried to evade them. He said the nails were for self-defense in case he came across anyone who knew martial arts, but he refused to elaborate on the wig and the mask that they found. That night, he was actually heading to attack another family, which is why he was dressed up in this costume, or, his whole thing. But fortunately, the police stopped him in time. A search of his home revealed a hidden room in his bedroom, musty and filled with old clothing and homemade wigs and matching false eyebrows. One of the coats that they found was actually doused in a whole bunch of grossness, including semen. Among the items that they discovered were the spiky black wig and a mask he used to terrorize his victims. If you guys want to follow us at Paranormal Puffs on Instagram, I have pictures of what this guy looked like and just the terror that these children and women were seeing in the middle of the night when they woke up and he was just staring at you sleep. It is literally what nightmares are made of. If you guys want to see that, I will have that posted on our Instagram. I'm telling you, it's like no other. It's creepier than Friday the 13th. It's some really scary shit. They also found a camera and photographs of various houses across the island, indicating that he had been planning his attacks meticulously for years. He kept these photographs as trophies as well. When questioned about the photographs, he admitted that he had chosen his victims long before the assaults, knowing intimate details about their homes and which windows to climb through. In addition to this chilling evidence, the police discovered a shrine to Satan in his home, complete with an altar, a sword, and a collection of books of black magic and the occult. On November 29th, 1971, a jury swiftly convicted him of 13 counts of rape, indecent assault, and sodomy against 6 of his victims, reaching their verdict in just 38 minutes. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison, but served only 20 years due to good behavior. When he was released, he returned to the island, but he was not welcome. He was driven away by the locals, and he moved to the Isle of Wight instead, where he lived there for another 3 years just before dying of a heart attack. So who was this guy? He was the Beast of Jersey, but really, he was just a guy, a regular family guy, or at least that's what he appeared to be. He had a wife and a mistress. He had 3 children, 2 were stepchildren, and 1 was his natural-born daughter. He worked in construction, and he came from a wealthy background. Although he had no prior criminal record, he had been briefly imprisoned during World War II for stealing food and helping starving families. So he was like Robin Hood. Known to the local children as Uncle Ted when he played Santa Claus at a foster home where his wife had worked. And I guess his mother-in-law owned the foster home. Beneath this facade, he led a dark double life. Despite his low sex drive that his wife quoted, he also had a mistress, like I stated, and they actually got married while he was in prison. She was a nurse, and it's just, I don't know how you can go through marrying someone knowing after what they've done. His wife during the time remained oblivious to all of his crimes and to who he actually was. She said that their marriage seemed unremarkable. His reign of terror was marked by periods of inactivity, and during these periods, it was kind of interesting to the investigators who were on the case, where is the guy? Did he stop? What is he doing? Did he leave the island? All these kinds of thoughts. But really what was happening, at least in what has been speculated on the internet from what I have found, was that the orphanage that I was telling you about that his mother-in-law owned, he was actually harming the children there as well. There's been multiple accounts of the children coming forward and saying that he would dress up in his costume. He would sneak in through their windows, and he would use chloroform while they were sleeping and take them elsewhere to commit his horrific acts. Later on, I found that there was like skulls and baby teeth found, but that was actually debunked, and that was from something that happened, I believe, in like the 14th century. So it was like really old stuff, and it was milk teeth, not actually adult teeth. And he didn't have any part in that, at least from the research that I found. But the kids that were at that orphanage did suffer from the hands of him, according to the research that I found.
I'm finding this story to be a real bummer. It's just kind of sad, you know what I mean?
Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. Are you dumb?
What? All right, guys, and that was the end of this story.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please have a great day.
Bye, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Oh, my God. Okay, bye, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it didn't bum you guys out too much. But we will see you next episode. Bye.